What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so I saw this news breaking, and it involves Will Smith, and that is that uh, Will Smith recently teased that a sequel to Hancock is in the works, and he wants Zendaya for a role in the film. The actor made a surprise appearance on XQC's live stream on Twitch and answered some fan questions. He said, quote, "There's a really cool Hancock 2 idea. We haven't even talked about it." He added, "I'm going to give you one little piece. Zendaya is being approached for a role in the sequel. Of course, Hancock is a 2008 superhero movie directed by Peter Berg and based on a screenplay by Vince Gillian and Vi Vincent. Peter Berg, I remember him. Uh, he's an actor who is more or less, think, since the 2000s, worked behind the scenes as a director, or on the other side of the camera, I should say, as a director. But he was the guy that played the boxer that was more or less based on Peter McNeely in that 1996 boxing comedy. I think it was called The Great White Hype. Damon Wayans, excuse me, was basically like a Mike Tyson-esque character. Peter Berg was like the Great White Hype Irish. I don't even think he was really Irish. They called him Irish Mickey Doyle or something like that in the movie. Mickey something. But anyway, in the movie Hancock, Will Smith played an amnesiac, alcoholic, reckless superhero trying to remember his past. And I think in that movie, Charlize Theron was ultimately revealed to be his former wife. Um, she was initially introduced in the movie as the wife of the character that befriended Hancock. I think there was Jason Bateman in that role. And, you know, I think that could be pulled off if they try to do a sequel. Um, Everybody in that first movie were probably in their 30s and 40s. Now they're in their 50s or pushing 50. But, with Hollywood movie magic and de-aging and whatever they use now, people can be made up to look a little younger. So they're still young enough to pull it off. I mean, look, we just had Hugh Jackman play Wolverine again, and Hugh Jackman is like in his mid to late 50s, so it can be still pulled off. I mean, it ain't like The Irishman when you had Robert De Niro, who was probably in his late 70s, trying to play someone in their 20s. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, um, I mean, I don't know if there's like this huge demand for a Hancock sequel, but I mean, hell, I mean, there is definitely a genre for superhero movies. Um, I'm just thinking, off the top of my head, that if you're going to make a Hancock sequel, you got to have some sort of antagonist that poses a threat to Hancock and the city, some sort of superpowered being that is just as strong or stronger than Hancock. Maybe he and Charlize and someone else have to team up to defeat this foe. Maybe that someone else is Zendaya. Um, something along those lines. Um, that could be done, and maybe Zendaya is the villain, but you tend to want to root for her. She doesn't usually, at least from what I've seen, she's never really played villains, but then again, I haven't seen everything that she's in. Uh, I mean, how can you root against her? Though? It's hard to root against Zendaya. So yeah, I'm thinking too much into that. But yeah, this would be a good film. A good film for them to do a sequel to, I guess. That's one of his better films, I'd say, in the last 15 to 20 years. But yeah, I enjoyed the first Hancock. I mean, he's basically just I don't want to say a knockoff Superman, but that's what he was essentially. It was a knockoff Superman. If excuse me, basically a jaded, neurotic, uh, morally bankrupt version of Superman. I mean, he wasn't evil. He just, I don't know the right word to look for it. He was just a jerk. He was an asshole. Kind of almost like in the, not as bad as Beetlejuice, but he had those qualities to him. And of course, he got better uh, as the movie progressed. But yeah, I can see that. Anyway, tell me what you guys think.